Good morning and welcome to Multiply Mornings. It's a wonderful Friday here. The weekend is upon us, but there's just so much stupidity that's rushing in right now that we gotta talk about it. So if you guys haven't been following this story, it kind of unfolded over the last few days. Chip and Joanna Gaines. If you don't know who they are, they're the host of the wildly successful show Fixer Upper. They really kind of started building an empire, basically, of fashion stuff, like we've seen several other people do, which they've recently become the focus of a story by BuzzFeed attacking what is basically their assumption of their moral beliefs. And so let me go into a little detail if you're not familiar with the story. About 3 days ago, BuzzFeed releases an article about basically the church that Chip and Joanna Gaines go to and are active in, that their pastor is anti-homosexuality and believes in this controversial and this like sexual adjustment therapy or something. So BuzzFeed does this, basically trying to unleash just a sandstorm of stuff coming at Chip and Joanna Gaines. Let's talk about a few things here first off. Just in the beginning, even purely before we get into the other side of this, first off, these are not statements that Chip and Joanna Gaines have made. This is something that they're assuming by them, which is wrong in its own right from a journalistic point of view. But aside from the fact of that, this is a belief, a religious belief that they're holding, that now they're taking it and they're attacking. This is really, truly dangerous because basically they're attacking a ideological belief because of a religious stance, and they're trying to demonize and victimize and really just go after these people for their own prejudices in their own right. Now, what I'm trying to say here is this. I've talked many times on the show via questions, different things. Homosexuality, it's a sin. I mean, there's no beating around the bush. God is very clear about what he feels about homosexuality. It's very, very crystal clear, and so therefore there's no ifs, ands, or buts around there. It is what it is, and that's what the Bible says, and that's what I adhere to. But to go after them because they hold this belief. Now, I can tell you this, I am not, and I do not believe Chip and Joanna Gaines would in any way be people who are prejudiced in the sense of going out hatred towards anybody with homosexuality, because here's the thing. Homosexuality is a sin, absolutely. As is lying, as is stealing, as is murder, all bad, and they all need to be dealt with. It doesn't mean we dwell in sin, but it doesn't mean that we hate the people. We just hate the sin. And so what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that to go after these people because it's wrong. It's my constitutional right to adhere to what I believe, to hold to it, and I have the right to say it. But not that Chip and Joanna Gaines weren't saying this. They just literally were assuming, and they're basically trying to create like a mob mentality. I saw this talked about by another news entity, and they were talking about that. This is and I believe it. It's a desire to make a mob group, a mob mentality go after someone, which gets clicks on your website, which I'm sure, even though BuzzFeed has fallen into an amazing amount of controversy because of this story that they publish, they are still having people come to their website, which means they get views, they get clicks, they get all that ad revenue of people coming to their website. So it all ends up actually working for them. And so it's really a horrible situation we find ourselves in. Because here's the thing, guys, this is so dangerous because our beliefs as Christians are under attack anyways. But we're going to see this kind of thing more and more and more because people have an adhered belief and they don't care. It doesn't matter. The tolerant movement of the United States and the world is the most intolerable movement in history, truthfully. I tell you, for a long time, I have not taken BuzzFeed seriously. In fact, most of their stuff I've completely just stopped watching. And the reason being is because it's a very one-sided liberal organization that's pushing a worldview, does not, as we see here, does not really pursue news. It pursues an ideology. It pursues an ideal of life. So there's something I avoid anyways. But there's just this really large mentality, an overarching thing that is going through and really just taking hold in our country. And I think we see this in this divide. Even in the last presidential election, we saw basically a 50-50 split, one of the closest elections in history. And we see that we are a divided nation on both sides. And we have to really think to ourselves, what are we going to do from here? I want to know your thoughts, so comment Comment down below, guys, what you're thinking about this. Are you as fed up with all this stuff as I am? I really do want to know. All right, guys, so we want to move on to our next story of the day, which is Breitbart News, which is also kind of in this, but on the other side of it. So Breitbart News is a very, very conservative website. With this, they have fallen to this like similar thing in that Breitbart has recently had Kellogg's, the cereal manufacturer, everything, blah, 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 the brand, has decided to pull all their ads on Breitbart because they said that their ideas do not align with Breitbart's rhetoric. So Breitbart has taken this and they've decided to literally attack Kellogg's. Now they began releasing like a ton of different articles and different things like that, basically anti-Kellogg's, calling for boycotts, all this stuff, right? Here's the issue. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. That's the whole of the story, basically. It's just few, but a lot of people are saying about Breitbart is the fact that they have taken their money gladly, and now they're releasing these stories like some man peeing inside of a Kellogg's container for a food. I mean, like, the list goes on of the stupidity. I mean, just like the stuff, I mean, that's honestly genuinely should shock us, should be like, whoa, that's bad. But they also have supported their ads and not published some of these stories, which are years old, until the point in which they are attacked, or rather, this service is pulled from them. So here's the issue, guys. This goes on both sides. We can't pick and choose what we do. We can't say, I like this, but I don't like this. I like you until you hurt me. I mean, seriously, like we have to stop all this stuff of just trying to get one over on everybody else and just literally I don't know the answer. I'm not trying to claim to know the answer, but it's like you see Breitbart, you see BuzzFeed, you see these two opposite ends of the spectrum's news entities, and they're making similar mistakes about one another. I mean, literally, BuzzFeed is starting a mob against the Gaines. This is what they were trying to do, and Breitbart is trying to start this against Kellogg's. I mean, it's just literally, it's two people trying to do all this stuff, and it's got to stop. This just ideological I mean, I'm not saying I am 100% in my beliefs. I know what I believe, I know why I believe it, and I'm willing to defend it. I'm not trying to say that either, but it's like these games we're seeing, and I think it's part of the web mentality of clicks and viewers and ad revenue, all this stuff. It's all driving this, and then controversy breeds viewership, because as a people we love controversy. That's why we love stupid shows where people fight all the time, and we see all this stuff. It's because we love conflict. And I don't know, guys, I think it's got to stop. Let me know, do you see the correlation between these? Neither side is perfect. We're imperfect people, we're human beings, but this is just, it's crossing into new levels with stupidity and stupid stuff that I've been seeing lately. So I want to know your thoughts, guys. Comment down below. And like that, guys, let's move on to a brighter note. Let's move on to our focus. And I wanted to focus, and this is actually something we talked about fairly recently on the show, but I felt like it fits so perfectly with what we're talking about today. And that's going to be in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 through 5. And it says, I charge you in the presence of God and Christ Jesus, who is the judge of the living and the dead. By his appearing in his kingdom, preach the word, be ready in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, and exhort with complete patience and teaching. For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions. And they will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. And as for you, be sober-minded, endure suffering, and do the work of an evangelist, and fulfill your ministry. Now, this, guys, I think is so pivotally important to this time. They say we're like one generation from the extinction of Christianity because of this polarizing, but I think it comes down to a personal problem. What I mean to say by that is that so many of us Christians want to hear what we want to hear. That's why we are seeing a boom in large churches, because it's easy. Now, I don't mean to say I don't like large churches, because I do. I think they serve a very good purpose, but I think a lot of people go to them to hide. Is it inherently bad to have a large church? Not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that some people like to go hide in big churches and not have the personal accountability to follow and fulfill, as it says here, your ministry. There's a point of emphasis on every single Christian in this world, and that is that you are called by God to do something for him. You're called by God to preach the word, be ready in season and out of season, to reprove, rebuke, and exhort with complete patience and teaching. So what I mean to say by that is that in your life, there's a specific thing in which you were designed for, people that you can reach that I can never reach, or no one else, because you have that in. And quite frankly, guys, Christians we're regressing, we're going in, and we see people leaving the church because, quite quite frankly, they see their parents, or they see friends who say, I love Jesus, he's my boy. You know, when I was a kid, there were shirts that like, Jesus is my homie, you know, whatever. But the thing is, there's no evidence of a relationship. My wife and I, my wife is without a doubt my best friend. I wear a ring that symbolizes the fact that she and I have made a commitment to each other. It's a circle because there is no beginning, there is no end. We are forever entwined together, right? So we are a couple. But if you were to look at my relationship and you saw I wear a ring, I wear shirts that I pick Judah, you know, and all this stuff. I say, she's my wife, she's the one for me. And then I don't spend any time with her. We actually don't live together. We maybe see each other a couple hours a week. And we just say, hi, bye, you know, what's up? You know, listen to you, we'll talk, you know, catch up for a few minutes, then off to the rest of our lives. You think to yourself, it's not really a marriage. And the rest of the week, I go around and I talk to other girls. I go around and I go on dates with other people. You would say to yourself, that's not a relationship. That's not a marriage. And it would fall apart. The same thing is happening in the church. People want to go around and we want to date all these other things. You know, I love Jesus, but I love going out with my friends and doing other things. I love the thought of being a Christian, but I also love sexual promiscuity. I love doing all this stuff other than the stuff God calls me to do. But I pick Jesus. It doesn't work that way. See, that's why we're seeing this mass exodus from the churches, because people are seeing, especially this younger generation, why do I believe what I believe? Why do I follow Christ? I mean, what's the purpose of it? What does it gain me? You know, Jesus says, what does it gain a man to receive the whole world and lose his soul? You know, and all these people, they don't see what do I gain by staying here, because everybody in their life who should be a representation of it, doing the things in which we read in here in 2 Timothy, are not doing it. And because of that, that's what we got to see, guys, that God is calling us to dive into this, to go to God, to go out from here, to share his gospel, to share his truth, not get caught up in stupid rhetoric for the sake of rhetoric. All this stuff, just wear a shirt for the sake of us wearing it. I believe what the shirt says wholeheartedly, just like this ring represents the commitment I make to my wife, and I'm committed to her. That is the reality of being a Christian. Guys, I leave you there. I think comment down below. Let's discuss the truth, the nuggets we need to think. What can we receive from this? What can we learn? Because, guys, we've got to figure out where we're going from here. All right, guys. Well, I thank you so much for checking out today's video. I appreciate you watching. If you like this video, make sure you give a thumbs up. It really does help. I know it doesn't seem like it, but when you give a thumbs up, it really does help us. And also, subscribing helps us a ton. So if you watch the videos and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Still can't announce some big stuff that's happening outside here that will affect this, though. But there's stuff coming that's exciting, so make sure you stay tuned. Next week, I should be able to kind of more detailedly talk about everything. So, guys, God bless. Have a fantastic weekend. Sorry this video is a little bit late, but I will see you Monday morning at 5 a.m. So take care. God bless, and I'll see you next time.